So I'm going to talk about some news that actually kind of threw me for a loop. Even though it's not Halloween, we're out of spooky season. We've apparently gotten some spooky season news, and that is a new film of The Fly, and it's going to be set in the universe of David Cronenberg's Fly. And I want to point out, this is not a remake. This is in no way, shape, or form a remake. It's going to be set in that universe. So I imagine it's going to be a requel to The Fly. That's what it really feels like it's going to be. I got to pull it up because I can't pronounce the director's name for this. The director's name is Nikyatu Jusu. Nikyata Jusu is a director I have no connection to. I have never heard of their work. Apparently, they're also doing a Night of the Living Dead movie as well. So, yeah, they're also famous for a movie called Nanny, which is a horror film. I'm curious how that'll go. But I will say that apparently David Cronenberg is enthused with the project, so I will definitely give if it's good enough for Cronenberg, then I guess it's good enough for the rest of us, right? That's my train of thought with all of this. If it's got Cronenberg's thumbs up, then I suppose I think we should all give it a chance. What fascinates me is that, again, it's probably more of a requel than a sequel than anything else, because they said it's not a remake and it will be set in the universe of Cronenberg's Fly. So that tells me it's a requel. It's kind of it is kind of cool that we're living in the requel age. Thanks, Halloween, for that. But it is cool to see these old properties coming back in one way or another. I am curious to see where we're going to go. So I also wonder if we're going to get a connection to the Return of the Fly, which was the sequel, or Fly 2, as it was called, which was the sequel. The lesser-liked sequel to the original film. And I've seen Fly 2, and I was like, well, the gore effects are really good. I like the design of the man-fly in here, but as it kind of stands, the movie itself is not good, so I imagine they're probably not going to talk... I would be surprised if they talked about Fly 2. But, yeah. The fact of the matter is that the idea of getting this sequel is really cool. Now, obviously, if this is a requel, like I'm kind of putting together, what could we get? Could we get Geena Davis back? I think that's a possibility. We're not getting Jeff Goldblum back. He's dead. His character's dead. And I feel like it would be less Brundle and more Goldblum. Does that make any sense? Like, if the character somehow did come back, it would be more like Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum than it is, Seth Brundle being played by Jeff Goldblum. Does that make any sense? Like, it was kind of like that with when he came back as Malcolm, where it felt less like the character of Malcolm and more Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum. And I like it. Don't get it twisted. I do like Jeff Goldblum as an actor. It's just that I really kind of noticed that with a lot of his performance, where it's just like Jeff Goldblum is just being Jeff Goldblum. But again, I say that a lot about a lot of actors, where it's just like, I just feel like they're just kind of acting as themselves than they are the character. So what could this movie be about? Possibly anything. I imagine if it is going to be in the same universe, it's probably going to be like someone finding the technology of Seth Brundle's telepods and using them, and shenanigans ensue. What I don't hope for is that this is more of a CGI fest than it is a practical effects thing. That's what really what made the 1980s Fly remake so good as a film, is that it were those practical effects and that body horror. So I really do hope they keep up with practical effects. I do imagine we'll get some CGI here and there, or CGI touch-ups with practical effects, but you have got to make it practical effects heavy for the most part. You have just got to do that more than anything else. I really have to stress that's what really made this movie. I think the other thing is that I'm curious to see what the Fly design will be, and I I have been a fan of the Fly films, even with the 1950s one. I know people call it boring, but it's more of a slow burn kind of horror movie, and you can't go wrong with Vincent Price. And I've said this before, that for me, one of the most dreadful scenes in horror that always gets under my skin is the scene with the fly with that human head just tied up in the web going, help me, go away, go away. Like, as the spider's slowly, like, approaching him. So, I think it's a masterpiece of horror cinema right there. But the remake, I will say, is it's one of those times where the remake is more superior than the original film, and the original film is really good. So I don't know what we could get with this film. I really do not know what's in store with this movie, but the fact that we are getting a film that is and again, I could be totally wrong with my assessment that it's a requel. I fully acknowledge that I could be totally wrong with it being a requel to it, and it could be just a film set in that universe. But all the director of this film said was, we're doing this film, David Cronenberg's on board with it, and what we're going to do is that it's a film set in the universe and it's not a remake. So that kind of tells me it's a requel. But again, more details will be revealed later. I'm just kind of happy to see The Fly again. Like, I think that's really cool. But anyway, you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this remake, this possible requel to The Fly? Are you guys excited? Are you guys not? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.